Having a roommate can be a great experience or it can be a terrible one. Living with anyone, including a partner, a friend, or a family member, can come with its challenges. But it'll be beneficial to life as if it were a drama because life is a drama. And in dramas, you have roles, characters, relationships, situations, voice, tension, time, language, symbols, audience, mood, and atmosphere. And we also have those things in real life. A friend and I were roommates last year, and unfortunately, we went our separate ways due to the lack of positive communication. However, if we implemented positive communication practices from the dramatism theory, we could have improved and maintained our relationships as roommates. In the following paragraphs, I will tell you more about how we became ex roommates. Next, I will discuss the theory and concepts, then apply those concepts to my theory. Finally, I will show you how practicing positive communication can improve and maintain your relationships with your roommate. Most of us have experienced living with a roommate in our lifetime, whether that was in a college dorm or after college with a friend, or you moved in with a partner, or even moved back in with family, siblings, cousins, anything like that. You experienced a roommate situation. I have definitely had my fair share of roommates too. I've had roommates in college dorms. I've lived with family, and I've never lived with a partner. But here I will be discussing one of my experiences with my ex coworker. So we met at work, and we became good friends, and we would hang out often outside of work. And she stayed in Cabot, and I stayed in Little Rock. She wanted to live closer to the city, which was Little Rock, and I also needed help with paying the utilities in the home that I'm living in. I do not have rent because my grandmother owns the house and she allows me to stay there as long as I pay utilities. So I needed help with the bills due to working part time and being a full time student. So we figured that it would be a win win for both of us. But after a month or two, we started to butt heads because the house was not being kept up as much as I wanted to, and especially of what we had agreed on. Um, so we started to experience a lot of conflict. In the next paragraph, I will introduce the theory that I will use to analyze my case. Kenneth Burke's theory, dramatism, is defined as a technique of analysis of language and thought as basically modes of action rather than as means of conveying information. And in layman terms, our language and our thoughts are action. And the two concepts, or I'm sorry, the three concepts that I will be discussing in my paper is guilt redemption cycle. And guilt redemption cycle is the need to purge yourself of guilt. We need to redeem ourselves by scapegoating or becoming the victim. The next concept that I will use is identification. Identification is basically common ground between speaker and audience. Finally, I will use the drama pendant. In the drama pendant, you have five elements: the act, the scene, the agent, the agency, and the purpose. The act is defined as the motivations behind the decisions. The scene is where the event occurred. The agent is the decision maker. The agency is the detailed description of how the decision was made. The purpose, why did the decision need to be made? Now I will apply the theory to my case. Again, life is like a drama. And once you apply the concepts from the dramatism theory, it becomes evident. My first claim is that my story or my case plays out in the five elements of the pendant or pendant. I'm sorry. The act or the motivation behind the decision was the fact that the home was unclean, it was untidy. The scene or where the event occurred was my grandmother's home. The agent or the decision maker was me, since I was technically the head of the household. The agency, the detailed description of how the decision was made. The decision was made by having discussions with my grandmother and deciding what would be the best course of action. The second claim states that we experienced the guilt redemption cycle. We felt guilt, which was we felt tension and embarrassment, and in order to redeem ourselves, we both played the victim. She played the victim by saying that she works and that she's tired. And then I played the victim by saying that I keep my part of the house clean and I do my part. The third claim is we lacked identification. As a result, we failed to see eye to eye on a lot of situations. And it made us both be really defensive. Alternatively, we could have used the positive communication practices to improve our relationship and communication. First positive communication practice is change victim blaming language to empowering language. So instead of saying, can you do this, or why haven't you done that? We could have said, are you willing to do this? Do you have time to do this? That would have been more empowering and would have made both of us less defensive. The second positive communication practice is identification. We could have used identification in order to sit down and find common ground and understand where both of us were coming from in the situation, and we could have came to a solution together instead of me making the decision on my own and expecting her to follow it. And in conclusion, implementing positive communication practices such as empower language and identification, you can have a healthy relationship with your roommate. When we acknowledge that life is a drama, you can navigate life's challenges more effectively. I hope that you see how life is a drama and that how you can apply these concepts from the dramatism theory in your life and improve your relationships. Thank you.